when talking to someone who is religious about something that science can't yet explain, the difference between saying, I don't know, and God or Allah or Thor did it, is that one is the start of a conversation, whereas the other is the end of a conversation. If you are lucky. If you are not so lucky, then the devout believer that you are talking to will also try to convince you too to believe that, with the phenomenon in question, which science can't yet explain, that it is actually the result of divine intervention. By the ghosts of tempestuous lampshades who have been downtrodden by the human race for far too long and have decided to take back the world that they so carelessly threw away at the turn of the 20th century. Now, at this stage, you will probably try to politely point out that, just because we don't yet know how, say, X works, all that proves is that we don't yet know how X works, and that at no point has the idea of sentient sandwiches with a magical rhubarb filling been something that the scientific community has been seriously considering when looking at the question. Now, this is the moment when your devout believer will probably throw down the tedious gauntlet of, but can you prove that it wasn't a telepathic squid from the 11th dimension? To which you will have to explain that actually the burden of proof lies with the person making the claim of telepathic squids and not the person asking for proof of interdimensional calamari. Now, sadly, your burden of proof explanation will most probably be ignored, with your believer instead triumphantly shouting, "Ha! See, you can't prove that it wasn't lilac hell kittens from the dawn of time." At which point you will probably say, through gritted teeth, that, yes, while true, you can't prove that it wasn't killer space worms with a taste for vengeance, neither can you prove that it wasn't extraterrestrial spider monkeys with a taste for justice, or any other unprovable mythological creature. To which your believer will most likely respond with something along the lines of, well, to anyone who is enlightened, it is clear that while incorporeal foot soldiers for the Grand Master of the Holy Cupcake clearly do exist, suggesting that there are incorporeal foot soldiers for the Grand Master of the Holy Muffin is clearly ridiculous and shows how little you know about religion. Now, at this point, unless you want to start going round and round in pointless circles, it is time for you to end the conversation by getting firm with your believer and saying, you know what? You get back to me when you have some scientific evidence. Oh, and P.S., Bible quotes are not scientific evidence. If science can't answer a question about an unknown fact, there's no need to spend any more time looking further into that. For the answer is obvious to any decent girl or chap. Don't you know, it's the God of the gaps.